Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? This is Jeff from BKJ Mac TV, and this is the BKJ Mac podcast experience. This is episode 22, and this episode is close to home. This episode is about the 9/11 ceremony that occurred this past Sunday. It's a sensitive topic for me. Remember when what I was doing when I saw the towers go down? It was very sad. It was very scary. Didn't know what was going on. Um, uh, when I saw the extent of the damages on TV, it was scary. I just couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. It was shocking. It was very, very shocking. And this past Sunday, it was an observation of remembrance for the people, the brave souls that were lost at 9/11. This episode of 60 Minutes talked about the firefighters, the brave firefighters from all the way down Brooklyn, Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, you name it. They went there. They went there, and when they got there, they crossed that bridge, and they got there to try to save as many lives as humanly possible. I was watching the interviews from the firefighters that survived, and they were talking about their accounts of the event that day of September 11, 2001. And as I was listening to their stories, their individual stories and individual accounts of what had happened that day, I remember feeling angry. I remember feeling shocked. And I remember feeling so disappointed. I just could not believe that such a tragic event had occurred. And these firefighters, they were willing to risk their lives. They didn't have to go into that building. It was unstable. It was unsafe. But they knew the risks, and they decided to go in and try to save as many lives as humanly possible. And one firefighter, I don't remember his name, and I'm sorry about that, but he climbed up. When he got to the elevator stepped on the 30th floor, and he climbed so many stairs. He climbed so many stairs to try to reach survive people that were trapped by the burning flame of the plane that had been hijacked by these disgusting, filthy, deplorable terrorists from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, it's crazy. It was so much jet fuel burning, and it was flames. It was hot, and he was climbing. He was climbing up these stairs, and his mission was to try to save as many people as humanly possible. And no one thought the building was going to collapse. No one thought that was going to happen. In histories of buildings designed with steel, no one thought buildings had never collapsed before. They thought the building was going to just burn, and it was going to save people. And that's what this firefighters were saying. Yes, that's what the fires were saying on Sunday. They thought the building was going to stay strong. They thought it was going to hold and they were going to get as many people out as humanly possible. They had no idea the building was going to literally collapse, and at the way it did. And when it happened, that brave firefighter who climbed so many stairs to try to save as many people as humanly possible, he perished. And it was so sad. I just couldn't believe it. It was so sad. To see all those firefighters. I think it was over 300 firefighters that were in that building, in both buildings. And they all died. They sacrificed their lives, to try to save as many people as humanly possible. I remember I've seen videos of people they were trapped. They had no way to go. And the way they were doing was they were jumping off the building. I remember seeing people just jump from the building so high. They just were so terrified. They was just jumping because they had no way out. There was no way out. And, it was terrifying. It was scary. It was just ridiculous. How could this happen? How could this damn thing happen? It should not have happened. It should not have happened. When those buildings came down and those lives were lost, it was such an emotional, such an intense level of tragedy. It was just unbelievable. Carnage, destruction, and mayhem at the highest level possible. It was just so sad to watch. I remember in 2006, I was going over to BMCC, and I remember I walked over, I wanted to see, and I remember I saw all those signage and stuff like that, and I walked over, and I remember I had seen it. I had seen the giant hole in the ground. So huge. It was so huge. And I had just remembered, and I looked at it, and I looked up in the sky, and I remembered I could just feel it, the energy. There were people here. There was a building here. There were buildings here. It was so sad. It was so sad. It was so sad. I touched the end part of it, of that giant part. I touched it. And I remember it was just so sad. It was so sad. It was just unbearable. And I didn't know what to think or feel. And then 2007, when I was in college at BMCC, my art teacher, I believe it was the second class, we went on a field trip. We went outside and we were taking a tour of the area around BMCC, the buildings. And we were walking, and we had seen the buildings. We had seen the damages to some of the buildings that was still around from the 9/11. And I remember he was showing us the hotel that used to be there, the building that used to be there. It was covered in black smoke. It was just so sad. It was so sad to look at. And again, all you could just remember was there were people that lived there. There were people that worked there. And to see it like this, and to see all those lives that were lost, it was just so sad. It was sad. It was just so sad. That's why, even with this episode on 60 Minutes that I was watching about the firefighters, the brave New York City firefighters that risked their lives to go into those buildings to try to save as many lives as possible. They deserve our gratitude, our external, our utmost gratitude. They didn't have to do that, but they did. They did. They gave their lives. Just thinking about it was just so sad. So sad. I hope as a country we do better. I hope we really do better, because there's so many things that happened on 9/11. I think there was a plane that almost hit the Pentagon. There was a building that was headed towards the White House, but was diverted into a park. It was just, these terrorists, these filthy, disgusting terrorists. We took out their leaders, Osama bin Laden, and all his commanders and stuff like that. But we still feel the agony. We still feel the despair. Saudi Arabia, a lot of these terrorists were coming from. They still owe those victims of 9/11 money, but money really truly does not bring back the people. But it's just like, man, it's like, what do you do? How do you replace such a great loss of life that had occurred that day? It was just so sad to watch. And every day, I try to salute and I pray for those lost souls that passed away on that tragic day. So if you ever get a chance, please, let's go and watch 60 Minutes and watch the profile story about the brave firefighters that went into the buildings that day, that fateful day on September 11, 2001. It was an event that rocked the whole foundation of the country and around the world. And the 60-minute profile interview covers in-depth pictures, interviews, videos, things have never been seen before, made public before. So now you get to see it firsthand. You get to see it. So please watch it. Please go and look at it. You'll learn a lot, definitely, about the brave heroes that gave their lives on September 11, 2001. Thank you for listening to this emotional episode 22 on the BKJ Mac podcast experience. Thank you. Peace. Love. Always. One.